Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for signing up for my class. I am really excited for this. I haven't done one of these online classes in quite some time. So here we go. All right. So before I get started, important disclaimer, okay? I am a passionate vegan chef, but I am not a licensed medical professional, okay? I am not here to give any medical advice, just to share what I've learned in my courses and my own personal knowledge and tips, okay? Super important to remember that. So, I always like to start off by introducing myself, who I am, and a bit of my background story, just so that you can get a better understanding of who I am and what it is that I do. So, I am Karine Lang. I live in Carleton Place, Ontario, and I am a plant-based chef and expert. And I am currently taking a plant-based nutrition program through the University of Guelph, and I am learning so much. It is so incredible to be able to even take part in such a thing, because for the longest time, nutrition programs did not really have any focus on plant-based. So this program is entirely focused on plant-based foods. And I have been plant-based for over 2 decades. So that's a really long time. But I never had the actual education component to it, which I did a lot of research. I attended a lot of events and online classes and whatnot. But this is like taking it to a whole other level, and I'm all about continuing to learn. So I have deadly food allergies. I've had the allergies for about 30 years now. So it's something that I've been dealing with for a very long time. And that on top of the vegan thing kind of makes it hard to eat sometimes. And so because of that, I rarely eat out at restaurants. I do sometimes, but I rather just cook food on my own because I know exactly what goes in, not just in terms of my allergies, but also in terms of how much um, sugar and oil and other things go into food. Okay. So I am really passionate about helping people eat more plants and have more confidence in the kitchen. Okay. I truly love showing people how tasty and easy plant-based eating can be, because a lot of people are often surprised by how easy it can be. A lot of people think it's complicated. A lot of people think it's expensive. And I'm here to show people that it's not. And actually, my favorite thing to show people is how tofu can taste amazing. I've had a lot of skeptics telling me that they don't like tofu, but that's because they hadn't tried mine. And after tasting mine, I was able to completely change their minds. So that, to me, that's my passion. That's what I love, is showing people like, yes, it can be really tasty and healthy at the same time. It doesn't have to be boring. I don't just eat salads every day, although I love salads, but I eat a lot of food and I consider myself a foodie. And again, have been plant-based for 2 decades and I do not miss anything. I promise you. So I want to know, I want you to answer in the chat. Tell me where you're watching from, what your current diet is, and your health goals for 2025, and why you signed up for this class. Okay. I really like these classes to be interactive, and I would love to hear from you. And I want to get to know you. You're getting to know me. I want to get to know you. I want to be able to help you as much as I can. So go ahead and type that in the chat. And let's go over a bit of different terminologies, because I know it can get a bit complicated with all the different terms and labels and whatnot. And, labels are labels. They are there to help people understand a bit better, how you identify. So in terms of plant-based, what we're talking about today, the main terminology that people use are: one, pescatarian. So pescatarian means that you don't eat meat, but you eat fish. Okay. Vegetarian means that you don't eat meat or fish, but you still eat dairy and eggs. And then you have vegan. And vegan means you don't eat anything basically that has a face. So, no meat, no dairy, no eggs. Some vegans do no honey. And then you have plant-based, which is pretty much the same as whole foods plant-based. Okay. And then you have flexitarian, and that's what I like to call people who enjoy vegan food, they enjoy plant-based food, but they still eat meat. They are not so strict as to what their diet looks like. Again, flexitarian. Okay. So I always like to remind people that it is not an all or nothing approach. Okay. So you don't need to go fully plant based overnight unless that's what you want, of course. But there really is a lot to learn about the whole plant based diet. And the key thing is to not be too hard on yourself, right? So all of you will have different motivations, different reasons for, wanting to eat more plant-based foods. So whatever reason that is, don't be too hard on yourself. And that's pretty much for everything in life. And use me as a resource. I'm there for you. There are not many other people like me, especially in Ottawa. Okay. I lived in California for over 7 years, and there were, a lot of vegans there. Here, the vegan community is growing, but there are not many people, that do what I do. So again, use me as a resource. Okay. And I would love for you to type in the chat and let me know, how many plant-based meals are you thinking of incorporating per week? And again, it's just I just love to get more information from all of you so I can get to know you better and help you better. So again, key takeaway, it's not an all or nothing approach. I am vegan for the animals, okay? But I am not your typical vegan. And I'm not judgmental whatsoever. I help people wherever they are at. I never push anyone to do anything. I'm just there to support people who want to eat more plants. Okay. And in fact, my husband, I call him a flexitarian. He loves my food and eats the majority of my food, but he also eats meat when we go out. So again, everyone has different, motivations, different reasons for wanting to do this. Whatever it is, again, just be easy on yourself. So now we're going to go into the top 5 reasons why I think you should eat more plant-based foods this year. Okay. There are many, many reasons. And it was really hard for me to put together this presentation because, for me, there's a million reasons, but we're just going to focus on 5 today, 5 that I think are the big top ones. All right. So number 1, and sorry, I forgot to explain earlier. So the difference between a vegan diet and a whole foods plant-based diet. Okay. So vegan, when someone says they're vegan, they are vegan for animal rights reasons. Okay. When someone says, and when you're vegan as well, there is, again, if it's for animal rights reasons, your vegans are not so their main focus is not to eat healthy. Okay. They can eat healthy, but it's more for them about the animals. When you say you are whole foods plant-based, okay, it doesn't mean you don't care about the animals, but it means that your diet is completely different than a vegan diet, because a lot of vegan diets are what I like to call vegan junk food diets. And again, no judgment, nothing wrong with that. People do what they do. But what we're talking about today, and all these health benefits are related to a whole foods plant-based diet. So that means that there's no meat, no dairy, no eggs. Okay, so just like the vegan diet, but it means that you eat very little processed foods. Okay. Yes, a lot of foods are processed, including tofu, but we're talking about packaged items that you buy from the grocery store that are full of fat, sugar, and oil. Okay. So that's what we're referring to. So whole foods, plant-based, you're literally eating the whole foods. So you're eating all the fruits, all the vegetables, all the grains in their raw form, and cooking with that, okay? Or eating it raw, of course. But that is the main difference. So when you are eating a whole foods plant-based diet, you can increase your lifespan by 3 to 8 years. And I mean, we all want to live longer, right? We all want to live long and healthy lives. And the key to doing that is through your diet. Okay. So many diseases can, a whole foods plant-based diet can be used to prevent, treat, or even in some cases, reverse diseases such as diabetes. Okay. It's not something that's talked about with many doctors, with the whole pharmaceutical industry. A lot of people are really, pushing the pills, but the diet is seriously the number one thing that can really transform many, many things. Okay. It also lowers your risk of heart disease, stroke, obesity, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, type 2 diabetes, and many cancers. So it's a lot. And I really truly wish that more people who are suffering and going through different things would change their diet, because they would notice such a huge difference. So this is why I do what I do, to help out as many people as I can. All right. And so basically, like, when you're eating this way, again, we're talking about eating the whole foods, with no sugar, no oil, no saturated fats. That's what I'm talking about. So I just want to say, I'm not completely oil free. I do eat items with some oil, but when I'm making meals, I cook with either no oil or very little. Okay. And there's, of course, we won't go into it today. There's a lot of different oils that are, better for you. But yeah, that's another discussion. So when you're eating this way, it lowers your cholesterol levels. You have much higher fiber intake, and there's barely any sugar, like refined sugar or oils, than a standard American diet. And that the problem with meat is that it is often loaded with cholesterol and saturated fats, and it's really hard to digest. And I don't know about you, but I remember back in the day when I was eating meat, I would often feel tired and really sluggish and heavy. And really, like, I want to share my first experience of eating a vegan meal. It was in Montreal, and I was working at McGill University at the time, and there was this restaurant right near campus that my friends took me to, and it was all vegan. And I will never forget the feeling of eating this delicious meal that was so beautiful with all the different colors, and eating it, and the feeling that I got afterwards of how I felt full, but I felt amazing at the same time. That was like an incredible, incredible feeling. And you cannot get that feeling after eating a meat heavy dish. Okay. It is completely different. Reason number 2, it boosts your immune system. Okay. So ever heard of the phrase eat the rainbow? Well, when you're eating a whole foods plant-based diet, it is really easy to eat the rainbow. Like everything, all, like, so many beautiful colors we eat with our eyes, and all of these beautiful fruits and vegetables are full of vitamins and minerals that your body needs to have a healthy immune system. And the plants have all the essential nutrients that you cannot get from other foods. That is the key. Again, it's, you want to eat as many different colors as you can. And the vitamins and the minerals and the phytochemicals and antioxidants in plants, those are what help you keep your cells healthy and your body in balance, so that your immune system can function at its best. And, like, if you think about when you're sick, you're not really craving like heavy things, right? You crave things that will help you feel better. And, the turmeric and the ginger and the oranges, all the things that are high in all these nutrients and colors, that's what your body craves. So it's really important to just, whatever you do, to try to eat as many different colored vegetables and fruits into your diet as you can. And it's also great for gut health. So because whole food plant-based diets are high in fiber, it helps create those short chain fatty acids in the gut. And eating more fiber, well, guess what? It helps you be more regular. And that is so important. And, so many people have problems with that because they are not eating enough fiber. But when you're eating a whole food plant-based diet, pretty much everything you're eating has fiber. So you don't need to take pills to to help you with that or whatever. You just eat more vegetables. And, if you have issues with that, it's going to get fixed. It's also great anti-inflammatory. So the antioxidants and the photochemicals in plants can help reduce inflammation in your body. So again, the meat, the sugar, all that creates inflammation in the body. Things that are not, if you eat a whole food plant-based diet, you will not get the same effects. Okay. All right. Reason number 3, which I think is a great one, especially, we just finished the holidays. I don't know about you, but I definitely overindulged. But, I'm all about indulging over the holidays. And I always encourage everyone to do that as well, because that's what you do during the holidays, right? You have fun with your family and your friends, and you eat all the yummy food and drink all the yummy cocktails. But, and all in moderation. But I am not one for you know, denying myself of anything, especially at that time of year. So, but now it's January, and I am more motivated than other than, get back on my healthy track. And a plant-based diet, it really helps you maintain a healthy weight. Okay. So like I said, I've been plant-based for 20 years. I've flip-flopped back and forth many, many times throughout the years with my weight, with how I ate. And, I've been the junk food vegan 100%. I've been, I've done the oil free. I've done like a really variety of things. And I can honestly tell you 100% that when I eat like less gluten, when I eat less oil, less processed foods, and less sugar, I feel at my best. And again, it's not about, I don't strive for perfection. It's not about perfection. It's about what works for you and what your goals are. But again, for me, that's what works best. And after, it takes time because you have to learn how to cook all over again. But once you discover the tips and the tricks and realize that it doesn't have to actually be complicated, it is absolutely doable. So the reason why it helps you maintain a healthy weight is because food from plant sources are generally high in fiber, like we talked about, and low in fat. So they have a lower energy density. So that means there are fewer calories per gram of food. Okay. So for example, if you're eating a 3-ounce serving of tofu, 63 calories versus a 3-ounce chicken breast has 122 calories. So this is why you can eat way more vegetables than you can eat of anything else, because it's lower in calories. And not only that, but eating the fruits and the vegetables, it's gonna help you feel more full, right? So again, you can eat all the vegetables and the fruit you want. It will not make you gain weight. I promise you. There are so many diets, so many fad diets, the low carb diets, the carnivore diets, so many. And they think that fruit will make you fat because it's high in carbs. Well, guess what? You need carbs, and fruits and vegetables are the best thing that you can eat. So remember back at the beginning, I said that I don't just eat salads. Well, I eat a lot of salads, and that is because I love salads. And I have different salads all the time. Okay. I change it up. But I want you to be really careful because not all salads are created equal, right? It is 100% possible to eat a salad that is way too high in calories if you are slathering with salad dressing that is full of oil, right? So again, whole other conversation, but you can absolutely have salad dressings that are low in calories and don't have any oil, okay? And the trick to salads, okay, is to make sure that you have protein in there, because if you're just eating lettuce and cucumbers, a few tomatoes, that's not going to fill you up. And that's why a lot of people, they try, a plant-based diet and they're like, oh, I'm hungry all the time. Well, you're hungry all the time because you're probably not eating enough protein. And yes, if you are eating a well-balanced whole foods plant-based diet, you don't have to be concerned about not eating enough protein. Okay. But again, that's if you're eating a well-balanced diet. Not everyone does. So there are tricks with that as well. So I personally have protein with every meal because I want to make sure that I have enough energy to be sustained throughout the day and that I'm not hungry. So every morning, I start off with having protein in my protein mug cake. That's like the thing I literally have almost every day. But yeah, getting back to the salads, it's important to have the protein in it. So there's so many different ways to get protein in a salad. So air fried tofu cubes, roasted chickpeas, pumpkin seeds, chia seeds, hemp seeds, you name it. But again, it's about your salad being well balanced so that you eat the salad and you're full after. And the thing with salads is, especially when you have things like broccoli and cabbage and kale, those things take more time to chew. And of course, the slower you eat, the more full that you will feel because it's going to take you longer to eat, right? And that's a lot of mouth chewing to chew through all those vegetables. Okay. So again, key takeaway is to make sure that you're adding enough protein to your meals. Okay. There's no reason why you should feel hungry on a plant-based diet. If you are, again, it's probably because you're not eating enough protein. So, and again, I'll reiterate again, because this is the important part. When you're eating this diet, you're not eating highly processed foods. Okay. Highly processed foods are full of sugar, saturated fats, and oils. Okay. So on this type of diet, you are eating healthy fats. So avocado, high in fat, yes, but healthy fats, right? That is the key difference. Number 4, it is better for the planet. Okay. I know this is controversial to some people, but and there are several different reasons why, like we talked about, why people decide to opt for a plant-based diet. And some people do it purely for environmental reasons. So the livestock production is the single largest driver of habitat loss. And reducing your meat consumption is also the key to biodiversity conservation. Okay. So many, it's really sad. There's so many rainforests and so many places that are being destroyed and the trees are getting cut down so that they can make more space for the farms, right? And the farms, what happens is they get the animals, right? All the greenhouse gas emissions get released, go in the air, and it's a whole thing, okay? And not super recently, but in 2019, there was a big meeting with 11,000 scientists from 150 countries, and they declared a climate emergency, highlighting the rising CO2 levels, the melting glaciers, increasing ocean temperatures and acidity, and escalating extreme weather events. Okay, like climate change is a real thing. And a big reason is from all these factory farms. Okay. So, and really interestingly enough, one of the solutions that was offered by the scientists to help the climate crisis is eating more plant-based foods. Okay. These are not people that, are taking this very lightly, and they are actually encouraging people to eat more plant-based foods to help the climate crisis. Okay. So again, I went vegan for the animals at the beginning, right? That was my main objection of why I wanted to do this. Not objection, reason. But then, of course, when I started, discovering more about all the amazing health benefits and the environmental benefits, it makes sense. And I strongly believe that in this day and age, it is not difficult to eat a plant-based diet. Okay. 20 years ago, 100% it was. But now there are so many alternatives everywhere you go. Even Walmart has a variety of different plant-based milks, plant-based cheeses, yogurts, everything. Okay. Almost every restaurant will have at least one vegan option on the menu. So again, it's not difficult. It's about finding the resources to help you. It's about, trying new recipes, being open-minded, not having just one meal and deciding, oh, this is gross. I don't like vegan food. Okay. Like I often hear, or, oh, I hate tofu. I had it once and it was disgusting. Well, you have to be open-minded because just like any meal, you might not necessarily like every meal. So just because you didn't like one thing doesn't mean you won't love something else, right? Like at the beginning of my journey, I had no idea what I was doing with tofu. And yes, it was disgusting, but it's because I wasn't cooking it properly. So that's why. And now I honestly make like amazing, amazing tofu. Okay. So again, it's a learning curve. It takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. A lot of trial and error, but it's about having the resources there to help you. So number 5, you save money. Okay. Yes, you actually save money. Beans, legumes, and grains are so much cheaper than meat. Okay. Buying in bulk will help you save a great deal of money. And you can buy in bulk from places like Costco, right? Costco is a fantastic place. I buy all my dried beans there. And I, it's there's also bulk burn. Bulk burn is good as well, but I personally prefer Costco just because I can buy in bulk, right? And when you buy the dried beans versus the cans, it's actually way cheaper. So you save money and it's better for the environment. Okay. So that's a win-win in my opinion. And making things from scratch, such as salad dressings and sauces, is also healthier, cheaper, and there's less packaging, right? So again, win-win-win all around in my opinion. And again, when you're eating this way, beans, legumes, and grains, it's way more affordable than packaged foods and meat. Okay. Like these are great meat alternatives. There's lots of great meat alternatives out there. However, sorry, I have to let my dog out. They are expensive, but again, in a pinch, they're great. They are a great alternative when you are first starting out, when, maybe you don't know, you're not a great cook or you don't have like whatever. They are great. And I'm not saying that I don't eat these. I do eat these, but not every single day. Okay. So I had a client that I worked with a few months ago, and she was eating hot dogs, like vegan hot dogs every day for lunch. And I explained to her that, it's okay to eat once in a while. They taste good, but they're not healthy. Yes, it's healthier than eating a meat sausage, okay, or a meat burger, 100%. If you compare it that way, yes, the vegan alternative will be healthier. However, it is still loaded with processed ingredients and oil, okay? So again, eat these on, not every day. Couple, like maybe, 1 to 3 times a week, okay, because there are a lot of great alternatives, but tofu is actually, going to be your best option once you start to, when you feel more comfortable in the kitchen, because with the tofu, you can add the same spices in it, in the way that you make the tofu. It can actually like mimic these alternatives. Okay. It's much cheaper. It's much healthier. So I make my own tofu bacon. I make, I make a lasagna that has a tofu, cashew, ricotta, all different kinds of things with tofu. Okay. So there's actually not much taste with tofu. It's all about the spices and how you prepare it. Okay. So the tofu, the tempeh, the TVP, seitan. Those are all things that I utilize that I make from scratch. And it's much, much cheaper than buying these. But again, if you are just starting out, these are a good option. Okay. I'm not saying they're a bad option. I'm just saying to not eat this every single day. Okay. And I'd love to know in the chat if you've ever eaten any of these. Okay. And I'm just going to minimize my screen for 1 second here so I can check on the chat. Okay. All right. Okay. And I just have to bring my dog back in. So sorry, 1 second. It is cold out there. All right. Let me go back to sharing my screen here. Okay. So I want to know, what has been your biggest takeaway from this class so far? And what has surprised you the most? So now that I've gone over my 5 reasons, again, there's so many other reasons, but those are my top 5 that I wanted to highlight for today. We are going to move on to the 12 foods that you should be eating every day. So, Dr. Greger, if you have not heard of him, is a physician and internationally recognized speaker on nutrition. I've had the pleasure of meeting him several times when I lived in California. He is the go-to source for all things related to plant-based nutrition. Okay. He's a physician, he's a medical doctor, he's an expert on plant-based nutrition. And he founded nutritionfacts.org. Everything is scientifically researched and proven. So that is your go-to place to get actual facts. Okay. So Google's a great thing, but it's also a dangerous place because you can get a lot of wrong information. Okay. So when in doubt, you go to nutritionfacts.org and see what Dr. Greger has to say. Okay. He is an absolutely dedicated vegan and he volunteers his services to many different causes. Again, like I said, I've had the pleasure of working with him. He works crazy hours because he knows that, there are not many people out there like him who are as dedicated as him. And he wants to educate as many people as he can on the, amazing health benefits of this diet. Okay. So what he recommends is these 12 foods. And you'll see on the second slide, they're not all foods, but this is what you should be striving for having every single day. Okay. And again, don't be too hard on yourself. Okay. If you don't accomplish this, but this should be your goal. Okay. So beans, 3 servings per day, berries, 1 per day, fruits, 3 per day. And remember, these are just minimums. Okay. You can have a lot more berries than that if you want, a lot more fruits, but this is just at the bare minimum what you should be eating in a day. Okay. Broccoli, kale, horseradish, those 1 servings a day. Okay. Greens, 2 per day, vegetables, 2 per day. I eat way more than that. And notice that there is a distinction between the greens and the vegetables. Okay. So greens, spinach, kale, lettuce, bok choy, those greens versus vegetables. Okay. So there is a difference. And remember that I will be sending the link to this class. So you will have access to this as well. And I can also, if you want, I can email you the whole guide in 1 page. Okay. So the second page to this, I just couldn't fit it all on 1 screen. So flax seeds, 1 per day. Okay. So 1 serving. So that's 1 tablespoon per day. And greens, So hot cereal, oatmeal, bread, again, whole grains as much as you can, 3 per day. Nuts, 1 serving per day. Again, nuts are great for you. Lots of great health benefits, but nuts are high in fat. So that is, that I eat a lot of cashews. I love my nuts, but they are high in fat. So if one of your goals is to lose weight, you have to watch those nuts. Okay. Spices. I put spices in like everything. So for me, that is not an issue whatsoever. And then the last 2 things, again, not food related, exercise. Okay. Once per day, at least every day. And, I know it's hard for a lot of people who have desk jobs that are very sedentary, but exercise is great on so many levels for your mental health, for maintaining your weight, for just, moving your body. Okay. And then beverages, water, green tea, hibiscus tea, many servings per day. Okay. Again, these are just the bare minimums of what Dr. Greger recommends that you have. Okay. So, our